The air on Highway 52 hangs thick with heat and hostility. "You don't belong in this neighborhood," Officer Todd Garrett sneers, spitting through the open window. His mirrored sunglasses flash her reflection back at her. Dark skin, calm eyes, controlled fear. "Women like you don't drive $40,000 cars unless you're selling drugs? Or selling yourself?" Brenda Collins grips the steering wheel tighter. Her knuckles ache, but her voice stays level. "Officer, I own this car. Get out. Now." The door swings open before she even moves. He yanks her arm, spinning her hard against the hood. Her cheek hits the burning metal with a hiss of skin. The pain is instant, searing. He doesn't care. The handcuffs bite down, steel cutting through skin. "Don't move," he growls. Papers fly as he tears through her glove box. Insurance, registration, photos, all of it tossed into the dust. Then he stops, straightens. A small plastic bag in his hand glimmers in the sun, white powder swirling inside like a death sentence. "Cocaine," he says. "You're done." Her chest tightens. That bag wasn't there. 30 seconds ago, her glove box was clean. "Officer, check my purse," she says. Her voice trembles but doesn't break. "I don't take orders from criminals, and in 2 minutes you'll wish you had." His smirk fades when he catches her eyes, not pleading, not broken, just cold. The kind of cold that comes from knowing truth means nothing when power wears a badge. Rewind. 6 hours earlier. Atlanta. Brenda Collins locks her office door. The golden plaque reads, Deputy Regional Director, DEA. She runs investigations that shake cartels. Her signature alone can greenlight multi-state raids. But right now, she's just a daughter going home. 6 months since she's seen her mother. 6 months of maybe next week, until her mother's soft voice cracked over the phone. "Baby, I'm not getting any younger. Just come home." Dorothy Collins, 66, proud, strong, and tired in a way that scared Brenda more than any cartel ever could. So she cleared her schedule. 3 days, no calls, no excuses. The road home hums beneath her tires. Pine trees, sunlight flickering through branches. Mahalia Jackson's voice on the radio. Trouble of the world. For once, Brenda lets herself exhale. She's not Agent Collins. She's just Dorothy's daughter. Then red and blue lights in the rear view. Her heart doesn't jump. It sinks. Every black woman knows that kind of sinking. The one that says, "This isn't about a ticket." She signals, pulls over, engine off, hands visible, perfect, lawful. Still he takes his time. Boots crushing gravel one deliberate step at a time. She counts in her head. 30 seconds, 40, 50. By the time he reaches her window, Brenda already knows. She's not being stopped. She's being sized up. And what he doesn't know is that he has just pulled over a federal agent who has built her career catching monsters exactly like him. He stops at her rear bumper, his shadow long and sharp across the asphalt. The hum of cicadas fills the silence between them. He radios something she can't quite hear. Code words, numbers, routine to him, threat to her. He waits. 20 seconds. Too long. Then he moves forward, one boot grinding gravel at a time. His hand rests near his belt, not on his gun, but close enough to remind her it's there. License and registration. Flat. Emotionless. No greeting, no reason. Brenda moves slowly, deliberately, hands visible, every motion practiced. She opens the glove box. Slow, smooth, mechanical. Her purse with her federal ID rests under the passenger seat, but flashing that badge too soon can make things worse. So she doesn't. She just hands him her license and registration. Garrett takes them without touching her fingers. Studies her license like it's written in another language. His eyes flick to her face, then the photo. Back again. "You know why I stopped you?" "No, sir, I don't." "You were swerving. Crossed the center line back there." A lie. She knows it. 12 years without a single ticket. "I wasn't aware of that, officer." "That right." He leans down, eyes crawling through her back seat, searching for something invisible. "Where are you headed?" "Visiting my mother. She lives off Route 29. "Uh-huh." He doesn't believe her, doesn't want to. "What do you do for work?" "I work for the federal government." He squints. "Doing what?" "Administration." The half-truth lands between them like a coin flip. He repeats it, rolling the word in his mouth. Administration. Must be nice. His tone carries the weight of every resentment she's heard her entire career. The disbelief that someone who looks like her could earn what she has. "You got anything illegal in this vehicle? Drugs? Weapons?" "No, sir." "You sure about that?" "I'm sure." He nods slowly. "Then you won't mind if I take a look." Not a request, a dare. Brenda's pulse stays steady even as dread coils inside her. She knows the game. Refuse and she's resisting. Comply and she's hiding something. There's no right move, only survival. "Go ahead," she says quietly. Garrett straightens, keys his radio. 1078. Need backup at Highway 52, mile marker 16. Backup? For what? A woman sitting calm and quiet in a sedan. She watches the second cruiser pull up, lights still flashing. A young officer steps out, maybe late 20s, uncertain in his movements. Reynolds. His name tag glints in the sunlight. His body cam blinks red. Recording. Good. Record everything. "Step out of the vehicle, ma'am." She complies. The heat hits her first. August heat that burns through souls, that makes the air shimmer. Drivers slow, rubbernecking, hungry for spectacle. Garrett turns his back, opens his cruiser trunk, and pulls out blue nitrile gloves, snaps them on, finger by finger, slow and deliberate. A performance. "I'm going to search your vehicle now." Officer Reynolds looks uneasy. He shifts his weight, glances at the camera, then the ground. His silence screams complicity. Garrett leans into her car, his broad frame blocking the view. She can't see his hands, only hear them. Glove box latch clicking, papers rustling, then silence. 3 long seconds of silence. When he straightens, he's smiling. Not wide, not obvious, just enough. In his hand, the small, clear bag. White powder inside, catching sunlight like glitter. Brenda's stomach drops. She cleaned that glove box. It was empty but for napkins and a manual. That bag wasn't there 2 minutes ago. "Ma'am, can you explain this?" His voice is cold, clinical. A voice that's practiced this lie before. "That's not mine," she says evenly. "It was in your glove box. I've never seen it before." He almost smiles again. "That's what they all say." Garrett lifts the bag into the light, hands trembling just enough to betray adrenaline or guilt. Reynolds stands 3 feet away, jaw tight, eyes glued to the ground. He knows. She can feel it in his hesitation, in the way his camera blinks steadily, capturing everything he wishes he didn't see. "Ma'am, turn around. Hands behind your back." The handcuffs snap cold around her wrists. Ratchet, click, click, click. Each sound heavier than the last. Pain radiates up her arms, shoulders twisted too far back. She doesn't flinch, doesn't give him the satisfaction. A passing car slows. A phone camera rises. Someone records. Another stranger capturing another headline waiting to happen. Garrett keys his mic. "Unit 23, 1015 confirmed. Contraband located. 1 in custody." His tone is professional, efficient, like he's calling in a lunch order. The dispatcher's voice crackles back, tinny and detached. "Copy, Unit 23. Backup en route for processing." Brenda stands on the shoulder of Highway 52, sweat dripping down her temple, steel biting her wrists, dignity intact but fury smoldering deep. Because what Officer Todd Garrett doesn't know is that he just handcuffed a federal agent who is about to dismantle his entire life. Nothing about this feels standard procedure. Brenda's mind calculates at federal speed, Not panic, not fear, just precision. She could end this right now. Say the words, show the badge, watch the arrogance drain from his face. DEA, federal agent, 18 years. One sentence and the game's over, but she doesn't. Something deeper holds her still, instinct honed over decades of interrogations. She wants to see how far he'll go, how many lives he's already broken this way, how many people without badges, without cameras, without voices he's buried under fake evidence and falsified reports. The Miranda warning drones in her ears, mechanical, meaningless. You have the right to remain silent. Words meant to protect, twisted into theater. But Brenda's not listening. She's building a case. Her phone, face down in the cup holder, has been recording since the lights first flashed. Every second, every word, every illegal action, captured. Officer Reynolds clears his throat. Todd, maybe we should... Garrett snaps before he finishes. Handle the scene, Kevin. Sharp, defensive, command masked as control. Kevin Reynolds freezes. 29. Rookie. His body cam blinks steady, a red light 6 feet back, angled perfectly to catch it all. Garrett doesn't realize he's already trapped himself in 4K evidence. Another cruiser pulls up. A sergeant steps out. Late 40s, maybe 50s, gray dusting his temples. The weary authority of someone who's seen too much. His eyes scan the scene, the handcuffed black woman, the bag of cocaine, the sweat and tension hanging heavy. What have we got? Found cocaine in the glove box, Garrett answers, holding up the bag like a trophy. The sergeant studies him, then Brenda. Her stillness, her control. She say anything? Says it's not hers. Garrett almost laughs. They all say that. The sergeant doesn't laugh. Process her at the station. I'll secure the scene. Garrett hesitates, wanting control, but rank is rank. Yes, sir. Then, Brenda speaks. Calm, commanding. Officer Garrett, before you take me anywhere, there's something in my purse you need to see. The air shifts. Traffic noise dulls, even the cicadas hush. Every cop on that stretch of highway feels it, the sudden weight in her tone. Garrett narrows his eyes. Your what? My purse. Under the passenger seat. There's a wallet inside. You need to look at it. Reynolds stiffens. The sergeant tilts his head. Garrett's smirk falters for the first time. What are you talking about? Look in the purse, Brenda says softly. You'll understand. Ma'am, I don't take instructions from... Trust me, she interrupts, voice low, dangerous, controlled. You want to see what S in that wallet before you put me in your car. Silence. Then, under the weight of the sergeant, S stare, and his own curiosity, Garrett reaches into the car, pulls out a black leather purse, unzips it, finds the wallet, opens it, and stops breathing. A silver badge gleams under the sun. Drug Enforcement Administration, Deputy Regional Director, Brenda Collins, badge number DA 4523, top secret clearance. The letters burn like acid in his eyes. His fingers tremble. The badge slips. He catches it clumsily. Reynolds steps back, 3 feet, then more, as if distance could save him. The sergeant takes the badge from Garrett's shaking hand, studies it, then looks back at Brenda. His jaw tightens. Take the cuffs off, Officer Garrett. The metallic click echoes louder than before. Brenda brings her hands forward, rubs her wrists. The red marks glaring against her skin. She doesn't speak. She doesn't have to. On the hood, the planted cocaine sits exposed, its chain of custody already destroyed. A defense attorney's dream, a prosecutor's nightmare. But Brenda Collins isn't the defendant. The sergeant hands her badge back. She clips it to her belt, where it should have been visible all along. I need your badge number, Officer Garrett. Her tone is razor-sharp, federal-level authority. He swallows. Badge number 23459. And yours, Officer Reynolds. Reynolds' voice cracks. 17261. Brenda types both into her phone, along with timestamps, GPS, and audio file markers. Garrett's hands shake as he grabs his radio. 1088. Needs supervisor at Highway 52, mile marker 16. Officer needs assistance. The sergeant glances at his watch, 16:34:06. 52 seconds. That's all it took to destroy an 18-year career. Deputy Director Collins, the sergeant says quietly. I apologize. Don't. Her voice is calm, lethal. You weren't the one who planted evidence on a federal agent. The word planted lands like a gunshot, and for the first time, Officer Todd Garrett looks truly afraid. The bag trembles in the light, not from Brenda's hands, but from the truth it carries. Planted. The word lands heavier than the cocaine inside it. Garrett flinches. I didn't plant anything. Brenda doesn't blink. There was probable cause? The swerving? There was no swerving. She gestures to her car, calm but sharp as a blade. My phone recorded this entire stop. Audio, timestamps, everything. Reynolds, the sergeant, goes pale. His body cam caught it too. Different angle, same crime. I need to call my chief, Garrett mutters, throat tightening. You do that, Brenda replies. Tell Chief Harris I'll be at the station in 30 minutes. Your department can explain this then. The sergeant nods stiffly. Yes, ma'am. Brenda holds the cocaine bag to the light, crystalline, almost beautiful in its ugliness. Street value, $600, but the real value? Evidence. Evidence of corruption. She looks at Garrett. How many others, officer? He doesn't answer. Can't. Any number would be a confession. She hands the bag to the sergeant. Document everything. Time, location, and that Officer Garrett removed this from my vehicle. I dispute its origin completely. Yes, ma'am. The engine hums to life. She lowers the window, eyes locking on Garrett one last time. I was driving home to see my mother. That's all. The words hang in the air. A daughter, not a criminal. A victim of power disguised as law. She drives off, dust curling in her rear view. Garrett stands frozen on Highway 52, gripping his radio like a lifeline. But it's over. 52 seconds ago, his career died. The recording's already uploaded. 3 servers, Federal Storage, Riverside Tribune, 8:12 p.m. Sarah Mitchell stares at her monitor, coffee untouched. Garrett, Todd. 23 results, 23 complaints, all unresolved. That's not misconduct, she whispers. That's a pattern. Click. File 2A2222156. Dismissed. Click. Cocaine in glove box. Dismissed. Click. 4th, 5th. Always Highway 52. Always solo drivers. Always black. She opens his personnel file. 18 years, spotless on paper. 3 commendations, 0 sustained complaints. But one line stops her cold. Officer Garrett consistently meets and exceeds monthly arrest quotas. She scrolls department policy, section 4.3.2, arrest quotas, bonuses tied to exceeding 15 drug arrests per quarter, a system that rewards numbers, not truth. Her phone buzzes. Bradford, Internal Affairs. You seeing this? His voice is gravel. 23 complaints, 0 sustained. Nobody had proof, until now. A video appears. Timestamp 16:31:08. Garrett opens the glove box, blocks the camera for 3 seconds. Then, the cocaine appears. Sarah's pulse spikes. Check evidence room logs, Bradford says. She does. 8 red flags. Cocaine checked out, never returned. Every entry matched to Garrett's shift. He was stealing from evidence to plant it. Her breath catches. This isn't one dirty cop, she says. It's a factory. Higher than him, Bradford replies. Much higher. Sarah types fast. A system that incentivizes crime under the banner of law enforcement. A department built on numbers, not justice. Her phone rings again. Unknown number. Sarah Mitchell. A voice. Male. Low. Scared. I can't give my name. But I worked with Garrett. He bragged about it. Said you just stop the right people. Nobody questions what you find. Nobody believes them. Did you see him plant evidence? Long pause. Then, I saw things I should have reported. What happened yesterday was my wake-up call. The line goes dead. Sarah hits record. Names it. Source A. Whistleblower. The beginning of something huge. Brenda sits in her mother's living room, a stack of files in her lap. Dorothy sets down tea. Silence. 23 names, Brenda murmurs. Anthony Williams, Alicia Davis, Terrence Wright. People she knows. People from her church, her street, her city. All pulled over. All found with drugs. How many didn't fight? She whispers. Her mother's voice trembles. Too many. Outside, the crickets sing. Inside, the truth spreads like wildfire. Dorothy's hand slides over Brenda's, soft but trembling. Most of them didn't fight, she says quietly. Fighting means lawyers you can't afford, time off work you can't take, everyone knowing your face, your mugshot, your shame, even if you're innocent. Sometimes, her voice breaks, pleading guilty is easier. Take probation, pay the fine, move on. Brenda's eyes darken. Move on, with a record for something you didn't do. That's how it works when you can't fight back, Dorothy whispers. The files sit between them, 23 silent screams. Each one a life rearranged by the system. People who said this isn't right and got swallowed by the machine until Garrett stopped the wrong woman. Brenda's phone buzzes. Bradford. Found something, he says. It's not just Garrett. The whole department runs on arrest quotas tied to federal grant funding from a private prison contractor, Corrections Corporation Inc. Brenda closes her eyes. Of course. Financial incentive to boost arrests. Exactly. More arrests mean more grant money. More money means bigger budgets, promotions, bonuses. The system feeds itself. Garrett's just the model employee, she mutters. Top 5 for drug arrests, 3 years running, because he's manufacturing crime. They can't prove the planting yet, but they can prove the structure, the motive, the money trail. Brenda opens a new email. Recipients: DEA Regional Director, Atlanta, FBI Public Corruption Unit, DOJ Civil Rights Division. Subject: Systemic Evidence Planting and Civil Rights Violations, Riverside PD. Her finger hovers. Sending it means detonating her own life. She'll make enemies in her hometown, in her agency, maybe higher. But she sees the faces: Anthony, Alicia, Terrence, people who never got justice. She thinks of her mother 15 years ago, of the next black motorist Garrett would stop. She presses send, and that's when it begins to unravel. 3 days later. Sarah Mitchell's headline dominates every feed. Federal agent targeted in alleged evidence-planting scheme. Pattern of corruption exposed. The article explodes online. Thousands of comments. People share their own stories. More names. More Highway 52 stops. More drugs found from nowhere. Internal Affairs is flooded. Bradford's team expands the probe. 1 officer becomes 4, then 6. 23 complaints become 68. Victims come forward. Whistleblowers whisper. The department's walls begin to crack. Sarah writes follow-ups, interviews, late-night phone calls. Each new line of text is a nail in Riverside PD's coffin. Local news picks it up, then regional, then national. Small-town police department under federal fire. Pressure builds. City council demands answers. The mayor hides behind statements. Police union lawyers burn the midnight oil. At 5 p.m. on day 3, the Riverside Police Benevolent Association releases a statement. It doesn't defend Garrett. It goes after Brenda. Sarah reads it aloud over the phone. Officer Todd Garrett is a decorated 18-year veteran with an exemplary record. The allegations represent a rush to judgment. While we respect Deputy Director Brenda Collins' federal position, her credentials do not place her above scrutiny. Brenda's jaw locks. There it is, the spin. Don't defend him, just smear me. Sarah sighs. It gets worse. They're framing it as a political attack on law enforcement, calling you anti-police, saying you're weaponizing your badge. Routine traffic stop? Brenda's voice turns to ice. He planted cocaine in my car. They're not denying it directly, just making people doubt you, making it about you, not justice. Sarah keeps reading. This appears to be a personal vendetta linked to a 15-year-old complaint filed by Ms. Collins' mother. Brenda's breath catches. How do they even know about my mother? Public records. They dug deep. They're coming after you, Brenda. Hard. Her phone vibrates again. Twitter notifications flood in. My stand with Garrett is trending. Blue line flags. Support our cops. Stop the witch hunt. Federal overreach. Brenda's screen burns with hate. Then, her office line rings. DEA Atlanta. Supervisor. Brenda, we need to talk. His voice is clipped, uneasy. I've been getting calls from Riverside officials, the police union, even state representatives. They're saying you're conducting a personal investigation outside protocol. Brenda stares at the phone, pulse steady now, the fire back in her eyes. I wasn't conducting a personal investigation, she says. I was targeted. Evidence was planted on me. And for the first time, she realizes this isn't just her fight anymore. It's everyone's. Brenda holds the phone to her ear. Her supervisor's voice is low, measured, the kind used when someone's reading orders they don't believe in. I believe you, Brenda, but there's pressure, political pressure. They're suggesting you recuse yourself. Let another agent handle it. Her silence is heavy. I am the case, she says. I know. But they're making noise about federal-local cooperation, optics, not wanting this to become adversarial. Brenda laughs once. No humor, only disbelief. Translation? Let it go. Make it quiet. Don't rock the boat. I'm not asking you to back down, he says softly. Just be aware. You're making enemies, powerful ones, and they're going to fight back. The line goes dead. She stares at her reflection in the darkened TV screen. The same living room, same floral wallpaper, same couch. Where 15 years ago she sat listening to her mother describe humiliation on Highway 52. History looping, same tactics, new generation. Dorothy appears in the doorway. Baby, there's a police car outside. Brenda crosses to the window. The cruiser sits beneath the streetlight, engine idling, headlights cutting the dark. The officer inside isn't even pretending to hide. He wants to be seen. How long? About an hour, Dorothy whispers. He's just sitting there. Message received. We know where you live. We know where your mother lives. Brenda dials. Bradford, there's a patrol car outside. He exhales sharply. Intimidation tactic. They want you scared. I'm not scared, she says flatly. I'm angry. Good, use that, but be careful. They'll escalate before they break. The doorbell rings. Dorothy jumps. Brenda steadies her with a hand. Stay here. She opens the door. Mrs. Patterson, the neighbor from 3 houses down, cardigan and curlers, stands clutching her purse. Brenda, honey, I just wanted to say, we saw the news. We know you. We know you're telling the truth. Thank you, Brenda says. But some folks are talking, saying maybe you should let this go, for the sake of peace. There it is, the other kind of pressure, the polite community kind. The one that smiles as it silences. I can't do that, Mrs. Patterson. I know, baby. Just be careful. The door closes. Brenda leans against it, breath unsteady. Her phone vibrates again and again, text after text, some supportive, most not. You're making this harder for the good cops. Don't destroy your career over one mistake. We need police, let it go. The isolation sets in. slow and suffocating, people choosing safety over truth, silence over courage. Dorothy pours tea, voice trembling. They did this to your aunt in the 90s. She fought the school board. They went after her job, her friends. Eventually she stopped, said it wasn't worth it. Brenda looks up. Was she right? At the time, maybe. But those same problems? Still here. Dorothy's voice fades. Maybe if she'd kept fighting? Brenda turns toward the window. The cruiser's still there. Headlights on, engine humming, the same rhythm as fear. On the kitchen table lies an envelope stamped DEA headquarters, termination threat letter, legal jargon dressed as warning, cooperate quietly or face review. Tick, tick, tick. The clock above the stove measures her courage in seconds. Dorothy sets a cup in front of her. Maybe they're right, she whispers. Your career, your safety, our peace. They can't hurt me. They can, and they will. Dorothy's hands shake. You think I don't remember your aunt? They destroyed her, moved her out of town. She never came back. Brenda stares at her mother. The fear, the tremor, the memory. This is different. Is it? Dorothy's eyes glisten. You're fighting men with power. Men who protect each other. And you're doing it alone. The old house creaks. Sounds that once meant safety now feel like warning. Mama, Brenda says softly, you remember that night? 15 years ago? Dorothy's face hardens. Of course I do. Tell me. Why? Please. Dorothy stares out the window, voice dropping to a tremor. I was driving home late. Officer said my taillight was out. It wasn't. Asked if the car was mine, where I got the money, if I had drugs. I said no. He didn't believe me, made me stand outside while he searched, ripped everything apart, found nothing because there was nothing. Her hands tremble around the teacup. Cars passed, people I knew, watching me like I was a criminal. Why didn't you file a complaint? I was scared, no proof, just my word against his, and we both know whose word they'd believe. Brenda's eyes burn. If you had fought, Dorothy finishes quietly, then maybe you wouldn't have to now. The sound of traffic hums faintly from Highway 52, a constant ghost. Brenda looks at her mother's hands. 66 years old, still shaking, still carrying it. The system counted on Dorothy's fear. It's counting on Brenda's silence. But silence isn't safety. Silence is surrender. She picks up her phone, scrolls through contacts, finds a name she hasn't dialed in 3 years. Someone who owes her, someone who can make noise that can't be silenced. She presses call. 2 rings. Then a voice answers. Collins? I heard what they did to you. Brenda exhales slowly. Then you know it's time to hit back. Lieutenant Raymond Bennett's voice crackled through the line, low, weathered, and carrying a kind of regret only time can forge. Brenda Collins, I didn't think I'd ever hear from you again. Brenda sat in her mother's quiet living room, laptop open, light from the screen reflecting off her glasses. Lieutenant Bennett, we need to talk. He had retired from the Riverside Police Department in 2022. One of the few who left not for scandal, but for sanity. One of the few good ones. The kind who'd rather lose his badge than his soul. You still keeping up with the news? She asked. I saw the stop, he said quietly. What they did to you, what they tried to do. There was silence, heavy, knowing. Then Bennett sighed. They call them performance metrics now. Back then, we called them quotas. He began to explain, voice steady but tired. Every quarter, we had to hit numbers. 15 drug arrests minimum. Didn't matter if they stuck, didn't matter if the evidence held. You miss your numbers, you got written up, passed over for promotion, or sent to night shifts. It was never about justice, just stats. Brenda's pen scratched across her notepad. Every word mattered. I sent a memo to Internal Affairs back in 2021. Bennett continued. Told them the pressure was pushing officers to cut corners. Bad stops, planted evidence, arrests that didn't add up. They filed it, then buried it. Do you still have a copy? A dry chuckle. Agent Collins, I kept everything. Someday I knew it'd matter. Minutes later, an email landed in her inbox. Subject, Performance Metrics Concern. A 3-page memo outlining a system designed to reward corruption, arrest quotas, fabricated evidence, a department built on numbers, not justice. Bennett's voice cracked. I should have done more, should have gone public, but I had 2 years to retirement, a pension, family to feed, so I shut up. And I've hated myself for it ever since. You're speaking now, Brenda said softly. That's what matters. He paused, breathing shaky. What happened to you? That was my wake-up call. If they'll do it to a federal agent, they'll do it to anyone. And that's when the dam broke. Bennett's testimony opened the floodgates. Other officers called, a few at first, then more. Not many, but enough. Officer Kevin Reynolds, the backup officer present during Brenda's traffic stop. His body cam, the one the department claimed was malfunctioning, had been quietly archived under restricted access. Reynolds came forward, trembling but determined. I can't stay silent anymore, he told her. I saw Garrett plant that bag. I saw it. I didn't say a word because I knew what'd happen to me if I did. He sent her the footage, unedited, untouched, and offered to testify. Then came the victims, 8 of them, each with stories that followed the same pattern like a grim assembly line of injustice. Anthony Williams, 2019, pulled over, cocaine found in his trunk. Tests later revealed the substance didn't match the report. Alicia Davis, 2020, accused of possessing illegal pills that turned out to be prescription medication. Case dropped, record never cleared. Taryn Wright, 2021. Same stop location, same glove box, same plastic bag. Brenda could barely breathe reading their testimonies. Different names, same story, same officer, same lie. By dawn, investigative journalist Sarah Mitchell had the receipts. Bennett's memo, the body cam footage, the victims' statements, the email chain. Her headline hit the Riverside Tribune's front page at sunrise. Highway 52, the arrest factory. Within hours, it exploded. CNN, The Washington Post, BBC America. The story went national. By noon, the local NAACP chapter held a press conference in front of City Hall. Cameras, protest signs. A crowd so large police had to block traffic. This isn't about one bad officer, Pastor Williams thundered into the microphone, his son Anthony standing behind him. This is about a system that paid to criminalize our people. That evening, the Baptist church on Main Street overflowed. 200 people packed inside, another 100 listening from the parking lot. Lawyers volunteered, activists mobilized. They called themselves Riverside Accountability Now, and they meant it. Inside her mother's house, Brenda watched the live stream with tears in her eyes. The same church where she was baptized now roared with chants for justice. Dorothy Collins reached over, squeezed her daughter's hand. You did this, baby. Brenda shook her head softly. We did this. Her phone buzzed. Bradford, her deputy back at the DEA. The federal audit just landed, he said. You need to see this. 89 pages, dry government prose. But on page 43, everything shifted. Corrections Corp. Inc., Brenda read aloud. Private prison contractor paid Riverside PD $340,000 over 3 years, listed as public safety grants. She frowned. Based on what criteria? Bradford exhaled. Arrest numbers. Brenda blinked. You're saying... I'm saying they got paid more to arrest more people. Each quarter, the audit revealed Corrections Corp. Reviewed the department's arrest stats. Higher numbers meant higher funding. Higher funding meant bigger bonuses, including $45,000 in administrative incentives to Chief Harold Harris himself. Brenda scrolled faster, heart-hammering. Emails, budget memos, performance reports. each document like a nail sealing the coffin of a system designed to criminalize the innocent for profit. Chief Harris, 22 years in uniform, the man who buried 23 complaints. The man who called Brenda aggressive during her internal inquiry. The man who smiled while approving Garrett's promotions. And there it was, the smoking gun. Email June 14, 2024. From Chief Harold Harris to all supervisors. Subject, Q3 performance goals. Team, we need to hit 180 drug arrests this quarter to maintain our grant renewal with Corrections Corp. Current numbers put us at 135 with 6 weeks remaining. Everyone needs to step up. Promotion considerations will reflect individual contributions to departmental goals. Translation: fabricate arrests or your career dies. Another email followed. July 8, 2024. From Supervisor to Officer Todd Garrett. Todd, you're at 8 arrests this quarter. Need 12 minimum, 15 to exceed. Highway 52 patrol should provide opportunities. Let's get those numbers up. Direct pressure, written proof, systemic rot in black and white. Brenda sat back, trembling. Not from fear, but fury. This wasn't about one bad cop. It never was. It was about a machine, one that fed off quotas, profits, and silence. Dorothy looked at her daughter's face and whispered, "Now what, baby?" Brenda closed the laptop, her jaw set like steel. "Now," she said, "we burn it down. The right way." The paper trail told a story of rot. Not just one dirty cop, not one complicit supervisor, but an entire system built on deceit and greed. Brenda scrolls through pages of financial records, every line screaming complicity. The city council approved budgets based on projected arrest forecasts, quotas dressed up as public safety metrics. The mayor's office signed off, knowing those numbers brought in grant money from Corrections Corp. Inc., money that patched budget holes, bought new cruisers, padded salaries, all funded by false arrests, manufactured crime, institutionalized injustice. 129 arrests flagged for review, 68% black defendants, 43% dismissed or reduced. Dozens living with records for crimes they never committed, because the department needed to hit its numbers. Sarah Mitchell's story explodes online. Federal audit exposes Riverside PD's quota for cash scandal. CNN runs it first, then MSNBC, then every major outlet. By evening, Riverside, population $43,000, is the face of American corruption. Chief Harold Harris goes on camera, denying everything. Performance metrics are standard across law enforcement, he insists, voice tight, eyes darting. But the emails prove otherwise. His signature sits beneath every budget approval, every grant request, every bonus tied to fake arrests. The city council calls an emergency session. Public hearing, September 3rd. Garrett will attend, so will Chief Harris, and Brenda Collins will be ready. City Council chambers, September 3rd. Every seat filled. Cameras crowd the aisles. The air hums with tension. Deputy Director Collins, you have the floor. Brenda walks forward. No notes, no hesitation. Her DEA badge gleams under the lights. My name is Brenda Collins, Deputy Regional Director, Drug Enforcement Administration. On August 16th, Officer Todd Garrett planted cocaine in my vehicle. Gasps ripple through the room. She clicks the remote. Video plays, her glove box, empty. Then Garrett's hand, slipping something inside. This isn't about me, Brenda continues. Internal Affairs logged 23 complaints against Garrett. 19 involved black motorists, not a single one sustained. Next slide. Performance bonuses. Garrett received $14,000 over 3 years for meeting arrest goals. Next slide. Evidence logs. 8 packets of cocaine, missing during Garrett AS shifts, matching the same weights as his reported arrests. Then, the final slide. An email from Chief Harold Harris himself. We need to hit 180 drug arrests this quarter to maintain our grant renewal. June 2024. Silence consumes the chamber. This department, Brenda says, voice rising. Rewarded arrests over justice, manufactured evidence, and destroyed lives, all to protect $340,000 in blood money. She looks directly at Harris. 129 arrests need review, dozens of wrongful convictions. Men and women still on probation for crimes they didn't commit because this department chose profit over people. Applause erupts, cameras flash, Garrett's lawyer stands. My client invokes his Fifth Amendment rights. Garrett walks out, jaw tight, never looking back. Chief Harris rises next, trembling. These allegations distort standard procedures. Metrics exist everywhere. Councilmember Diane Foster cuts him off. Chief Harris, your June budget presentation tied federal grants directly to arrest totals. We approved it. Gasps. Foster goes pale. She's just admitted it. The council knew. Motion for federal oversight, the council president declares. Immediate consent decree. All in favor? 7 hands rise. Unanimous. Riverside PD, now under federal investigation. The chamber erupts again. Reporters rush out. Chief Harris sinks into his chair, staring at the floor, his 22-year career over on live television. By dawn, his resignation email lands. 2 sentences, no explanation. Within days, the Department of Justice opens a criminal probe. Garrett's termination, immediate, no pension, no appeal. Federal charges pending. Councilmember Foster faces recall petitions. The mayor's office scrambles to contain the fallout. 129 cases reopened. 34 convictions overturned in the first 60 days. People walk free, their names cleared after years of silence. Reforms follow fast. Mandatory body cams. Dual custody evidence rooms. Quota-based policing banned by law. A civilian review board created. $2.3 million set aside for victim compensation. It's not enough, but it's a start. 6 months later, Highway 52. Brenda drives the same stretch of road where it all began. Sunlight filters through the pines. Patrol cars pass, but none stop her. The silence feels different now. Peaceful, not fearful. She pulls into her mother's driveway. Dorothy waits on the porch, tears glimmering in her eyes. You did it, baby. Brenda smiles. We did it. The badge on her hip catches the light, a reminder. Justice isn't guaranteed by a badge. It's demanded by those who refuse to look away. Sometimes revolutions don't roar, they whisper. Just one woman standing her ground, and that's how everything changes. If this story moved you, subscribe to Fate Tales, where real stories spark real change. Because silence protects the system, but speaking up destroys it.